Good evening. Welcome to the Comic Book Shop of Doom. I'm your host. This video is not for children. So if you're under 13, get your parents' permission to watch this video. I don't need a $40,000 fine from COPA, YouTube, or the government. So get your mom and dad's permission to watch this. If anything, ask them to watch it with you, and then they can explain something if you don't understand. Okay, here's your nightly news for Tuesday, July 7th, 2020. We have a death. Ennio Morricone, he was an Italian composer. He was 91, and he did The Hateful Eight, and he did a lot of work for Quentin Tarantino. So he did a lot of spaghetti westerns. Tarantino loved him. So rest in peace to Ennio Morricone. Okay, DC is going to make a Raven Solo movie. So the character from the Teen Titans. And then DC is also rumored to do a reboot of Justice League, the movie with a rebirth theme. So they're doing now what they did with the comics to the movies. If it didn't work the first time, they're just gonna reboot it. So that this don't look good. Okay, Microsoft is in the running to buy Warner Brothers Games. So the interactive division, the video game company. So Microsoft could have their name on Mortal Kombat if this goes down. That's part of the franchise there. Okay, Stan Lee's POW Entertainment and Genius Brands are partnering to create the Stan Lee universe. So even though Stan Lee's been dead almost 2 years, they want to exploit his name to all they can get and create another rip-off Marvel universe. So everybody sees the success that makes, and they want to copy it. And I don't see this working at all. Every once in a while, you'll see Stan Lee's name being used in something like this. The Chinese tried doing it when they bought his company. So they bought his company, and they tried doing this several times, and it never pans out. Okay, Christian Alfonso is going to exit Days of Our Lives after 37 years. So she's been on that show a long time. Uber Eats is buying Postmates, so good luck with that. I'm not going to pay $40 to get a sandwich delivered, so I don't know anybody that uses that stuff. It's a ripoff. Matt Reeves has signed a deal with Warner Brothers TV, so they got a first look deal with him to do anything. Colin Kaepernick has signed a deal with Disney. So this is like a first look deal. So basically anything that he wants to do, he brings it to them, and they get first dibs on making it and releasing it. So they give him money for an office, a staff, and they give him a pool of money to buy books and scripts and stuff like that. And he buys a movie, rights to an action novel or something. And he says, I want to make this a movie, and I want to star in it, or I want, to hire Sylvester Stallone to star in it. Just saying. And Disney has the rights to say, okay, we like this, and we'll put up the money for it. If they pass, then he can take it to other places. But if somebody else picks it up, they got to reimburse Disney for the money that they put into developing this. So, he's got a deal that he'll make some money with this. Brad Pitt is going to star in Sony's Bullet Train. The top movie at the drive-ins this past weekend, 1984's Ghostbusters. So all the retro stuff is being shown at these drive-ins because people can't go to the movie theater. Stargirl, renewed for season 2, will move to the CW from the DC Universe. So a lot of people are thinking that DC Universe, the DC streaming service, is going to be dead for sure sooner or later. Birds of Prey 2 canceled by DC. So that movie ain't going to get made. So the Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey, the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn, it was a major flop. They tried using the coronavirus as the excuse. It came out a month and a half before the virus really hit, so it wasn't an excuse. It was just, it was an excuse. Movie's a flop. Let's find somebody to blame it on. Okay, your wrestling news for Tuesday, July 7th. 30 people, possibly more, in WWE have tested positive for COVID-19. So all those things, shooting, wrestling in an empty warehouse with barely any fans, doesn't work. At least it's not clean. Former WWE superstar Sarah Logan, she's pregnant. So congratulations to her and Eric from the Viking Raiders. WWE SummerSlam, guess what? It's going to be at the Performance Center. So guess what? Until further notice, all WWE events are going to be at the Performance Center. They can't run arenas with big crowds. Vince doesn't seem to get this. He just wants to rake in the money, and it's not possible nowadays with the outbreak of this virus. So until they get this thing eradicated, everything is on hold. And they just don't want to hear this because they're used to making money, and now it's stopped. Oh well, guess what? The world is changing. Move on. Kelly Klein says Ring of Honor covered up sexual accusations against Jay Lethal. Well, that one, Taylor Hendricks accused him of some stuff. And so there's multiple people here that have been saying stuff about Jay Lethal for years. The Rock and Roll Express have finally trademarked their name, so they're going to, make shirts, t-shirts, toys, all kinds of junk. Brian Pillman Jr. wanted to get a release from MLW, and they denied his request. So more than likely, AEW was his destination because he's working there under like a sharing deal that they have. AEW has possibly offered to match Rey Mysterio's WWE contract demands. Okay, this is messed up. Rey Mysterio Jr. is working for WWE on a handshake agreement. He doesn't have a contract right now. They're using his son as leverage, so he stays. So if you want Dominic to have a job in this business, you have to stay and finish out this angle and blah, 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 blah. Rey Mysterio asked Vince for a raise in his deal, and Vince told him, I don't have the money to pay you. Even though Vince McMahon's net worth went up 10% with the coronavirus outbreak, because what they did was they had to do away with all the house shows. Those were unprofitable. So he got rid of that. He didn't have a loss, and all he's doing is the TV shows, at the Performance Center for revenue. And he's got all the merchandising and the WWE Network, and they're making money. And he tells Ray, sorry, I don't have enough money to pay you. So AEW offered Ray to jump, but they don't say if Dominic's under a deal or not. So that's probably the thing. And I think Ray doesn't want to jump because he figures if he does, his legacy is doomed, and so will be Dominic's career for the future. So we will see how this works out. Jeff Jarrett's Impact Anthem lawsuit on hold because of the coronavirus. So all the cases in Tennessee have been pushed back. Chasen Rance and his Team Vision dojo are in the limelight again. Somebody made mention that they're training a 14-year-old girl that she started there when she was 12 years old. Now, there's a bunch of guys with all kinds of convictions and sexual accusations that work there in that Team Vision dojo. And they're training teenage girls and teenagers. So, this could blow up big time if something happens out of this. So, everybody have a good night.